there guys, it is Steven from MechaPuma, and today we're starting a new series. And yes, I've been starting a lot of series lately, some of them have worked out, some of them haven't. We're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories, and some are more than theories, by the way. What I'm talking about has actually been proven right, or in my opinion, mostly right. See, I think it's still a theory, because nobody's really 100% confirmed it. It's just been researched a lot, and the results seem very confirmed and very serious. So just bear with me through this. I know I'm going to sound insane at the beginning of these because these are some pretty broad and very troubling theories. These have to do with the government, but they just might be true. These have such scientific evidence that I'm sure at least parts of these are correct. But yeah, if you do enjoy it at the end, please press the like button. That would be really appreciated. Let's get into it. The first theory today is about something that's very strange, but you guys have probably seen it a lot and not thought a lot about it, just like me. Do you know those little trails behind planes when they fly? Apparently that doesn't need to happen. The fuel shouldn't be leaving that white trail in the sky that looks just like clouds. Instead, it's theorized that it's actually chemicals being dropped onto us, and we have no idea what the chemicals are doing to us. They could be making us mentally insane. Nobody really knows, but it's predicted that it might lead to cases of cancer because it's unknown chemicals being dropped onto us. As creepy as that sounds, there is some evidence to back it up. There's not the most evidence. This isn't the conspiracy theory that I'm 100% with. I could see this being a true conspiracy theory and a true story. There's also that theory that they're spraying this to reverse climate change. And I don't know if that's true. Why would they spray some chemical in the air to reverse it? I mean, it makes sense, right? Because there needs to be a certain chemical balance in the atmosphere. There can't be too much carbon dioxide and other substances there, or else our climate is going to be very weird. Our atmosphere is going to be all fucked up. There might be holes in the ozone and all of that stuff, right? But why would they be doing it with like public airliners? There are apparently jet planes doing it, but from the public airliners I've seen, some of them do emit that stuff, and it just seems very suspicious to me. Now, this might sound crazy, but some people think that it's mind control, that this substance is a way to control the general population, to make them think in a certain way. There's even been a case of somebody reporting that all of their neighbors just started randomly arguing. The chemtrail was dropped, a ton of planes flew by, and there are even pictures of just a ton of chemtrails in the sky, alright? We're not talking one or two or even three, we're talking like 5 or 6, some ridiculous amount like that. I'm more with this being true, I don't know. I know the government has done some very shady stuff in the past. They've actually had very freaky experiments done on people. They have done mind control experiments, not only on rats and laboratory animals, which by the way is very fucked up, but even more fucked up on actual people in hospitals and such. Considering the government had a massive role in the project MKUltra, where they tried to hypnotize patients, and they even went so far as to give them LSD and other pretty terrible drugs. It isn't hard for me to believe that something's, up here. Literally up, if you know what I'm saying. It's creepy to think about, it's very unsettling, and it could very well be real. Now, the second one we're going to be talking about is that our food is killing us. And the FDA approves all of the stuff that really shouldn't be approved, especially in medication, but we'll get on that topic another time. Everybody needs to eat food, right? And so many people in America and a lot of other first world countries eat a ton of packaged food, and it's just a really unhealthy amount. And I'll even admit myself, I eat a lot of unhealthy food, alright? And some of the chemicals in this are apparently proven to give you less of a sperm count for men, just really fuck with your head in general, it kind of just like disintegrates your brain almost. For example, BPA was sold in stores up until 2008, and it still continued to be sold today. It was apparently like disapproved from stores in 2008. A lot of stores just stopped selling products with it. And apparently humans and animals didn't really react to it well, so I think you can put 2 and 2 together and say that that's not a very good chemical to be consuming. One of the most freaky things it can do though is apparently it can hurt the fetus, which is an unborn child. I feel really bad for the people who had to go through that though. Freaking imagine just having like a child that has disabilities or something even worse than that, some kind of terrible disease just because you've been eating something that is given to you at grocery stores. And I mean, just proving that Americans are stupid and that's actually kind of true. Canada listed it as a toxic drug. Where the fuck are you at, America? If it's toxic, you should probably list it as toxic, and especially if it has all of these really bad effects. The negative effects probably outweigh what positivity it does in terms of food. I can honestly believe this shit the more and more I look into it, and it actually becomes less shit the more and more I look into it. The more it becomes people who actually have a general sense of what might be going on with our society and how corrupt the FDA and the government might actually be at this point. And if you guys haven't noticed, in the past decade, I've been seeing so many advertisements for cancer research, which by the way, is actually, I'll talk about it in another video, but it isn't what you think it is. I'll just leave it at a cliffhanger so you guys will have to watch more. Haha, YouTube revenue. Actually, that's a cruel way to make revenue. I don't even make revenue off of the stuff I post right now. I've been seeing so many diabetes commercials, cancer commercials, just all kinds of commercials for these things that shouldn't be happening on a regular basis. People are getting actually much fatter over the generations because of what bullshit's been going on lately. Yes, it's their choice if they want to buy the food, but once you start eating it, I've noticed it's so addicting. I have to change my dietary habits. It's hard to get off the food you eat. It's really, really hard. I went vegetarian a year ago, and even though I did transition in a couple of days from like being a meat eater to a vegetarian, it wasn't easy. The same thing applies, especially with sugar and stuff your body really likes, because in the old days, right, and I'm talking about the caveman days, where we didn't have grocery stores like Target and Safeway. We had to go out and hunt our own food. So our bodies naturally craved fat and sugar saturated stuff because that's what we needed to live off of. That's what we needed to survive, and same with protein and all that. So that's why we like what we like so much. But the thing is, now that we have it all right in front of us and we don't have to go out and exercise and go out and hunt and get it, it's actually making us weaker. It's actually making us have more problems than we should. And it doesn't help that the FDA is approving a ton of very dangerous chemicals that they're putting into our food. Just think about it for a second. They're taking advantage that we're getting weaker over the generations. Instead of trying to help that, instead of trying to make the human race not weak, they want to, because they want power over us. They want authority. And I know that sounds like bullshit, right? Because there are places like North Korea where the authority has all power. Kim Jong-un has all power. He's almighty. He can do whatever he wants. He can break his own laws. And he wouldn't give a fuck because he's the leader of everything. In America, that's definitely not the case. If someone breaks a ton of laws and is a terrible person, they're not gonna get any good coming to them in the future, unless they're very, very clever and know how to hide everything very well. Sort of like Clinton and Trump. Even though we don't run off of a government that completely dictates every choice we have, it's very hard to get out of the habits you already are in, which is why they want to promote soda, other soft drinks, and the foods that have high levels of cancer in them. For example, I'm not trying to be vegan gains here, but actually red meat has this one type of sugar which actually can cause cancer if you consume it enough. And considering it was hard for me to get off of that and hard to stop craving it and stop eating it, I could honestly understand why people are still sticking to their terrible diet choices. It doesn't help that they're promoting it to children, because then guess what? They're gonna grow up with their dietary habits really bad, and that's what the government wants, because they're gonna get more medicine for themselves. And getting more medication helps the pharmaceutical agencies out, which are also linked to the government. They're connected. Everything is connected if you really think about it. Alright guys, I had a cough attack, that's why my eyes look red. I totally wasn't crying about the fact that America's fucked. The thing is that our generations are getting weaker, especially because of all of this stuff that the government's been doing. They don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves, and that's fact right there. Do you give more fucks about yourself or about some random person 1,500 miles away from you? Because I guarantee it's yourself, right? That's basically how the government thinks, only in terms of social rankings and social standards and money and all that stuff. Actually, in terms of power is what I was meaning to get at, because that stuff is all power. It all relates to power. So if you're not powerful, right? If you can't make an impact like they can, why would they care about you? You're not making an impact compared to them. And that's why I think they don't have a problem to pass all this stuff. They basically see us as being useless. I'm not talking about, you know, some of the leaders we have now. I'm not trying to aim it towards fucking Donnie Trump. He's getting enough hate up in this bitch. I'm not really trying to point it at anybody. I'm just pointing it at, you know, some of the government in general. Some of the government probably does really give a fuck about us, and they are really against everything that's happening right now. And those people are really good people, in my opinion, because they're trying to stop a huge crisis from happening, but they just can't do a good enough job because the most powerful people want this to happen. There are even seed banks. Apparently it's in case everything goes wrong. They know GMOs can go wrong, and that they are likely to go wrong at some period of time. Look at all of the negatives of them. They pollute the environment. They cause a ton of problems in the human body and the animals that they study on, which once again, fuck you if you do that. They cause so many problems that they're better to avoid altogether. But the problem is that like 75% of crops, they are already GMO. It's already been spreading. That's what the big GMO companies want. They want their products to spread so that everybody has to use them. And just to reiterate, this is why they have seed banks, alright? Say those GMOs end up killing off a lot of humanity, well, then they have backups right there that aren't GMOs. And that's the thing. We're basically being tested on right now, and we're not even aware of it. This mostly is a conspiracy theory. I've been looking into this. This is like mostly facts here. They've done a lot of shady shit, and this is why I don't really trust big organizations and the government too much. I trust the government with a lot of things, just not dictating my diet and such. Because I don't fall for those commercials that say, oh, get milk, it's so good for your bones, because I used to believe that, right? And then I found out that the only thing milk does is make your bones more white. It doesn't make them stronger. Haven't drank milk in like 3 weeks. Look at how fucking strong my bones are, bitch. Last year I barely drank milk at all, and my bones are still perfectly fucking fine. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a combination of having fun with this, raising awareness. If you did, please press the like button just so I know that you enjoyed it. And also, if you really want more of this in the future, and you comment saying that you want more, which by the way do, because I don't know if you do or not, then press that subscribe button and you will get more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Generic and cover.